Hi guys, Hamza here and welcome to this tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a custom contact form with Elementor. And this contact form will look like this, with a name input, email ID, and some checkboxes, a message area, a place for a URL, and a CAPTCHA, and finally a button to submit the message. Let's dive straight in. To create this contact form, you'll have first of all to create a block, and in that new block we will be in position to place in a couple of elements. We will have to create a new section and then insert the form element, and then we start customizing. To do that, we have to go to the back end of our website, dashboard, and we come to Elementor, and then under Elementor is something called templates, and we can add a new template and we can make it to be a section template, and then we can say it's a demo contact form, and we create the template. Once we get to this window, we'll basically just close it up and come over here, and we had a new layout, which is the structure we need, and in this case we'll select the wide one, and we'll come over to the edit section and we grab over our form element, which will help us to build our contact form. So we drag it over here, and now we are getting started. What we are going to do is to tighten up our element. It looks too wide at the moment, so we can do that by just coming over to the layout and we hit in a figure here. I think 750 will work best for us. Yeah, this is fine. And then we are going to work on the top and bottom part. It is too fixed to the top and the bottom of the main section, so we are going to work just with a padding. So we click on the edit section, come over to advanced, and then under the padding settings, we are going to not select pixels, but I want us to select the option of the percentage, because by this it helps us that even when this contact form will be viewed on a smaller device, then it will use the percentage to scale down to the device size. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit in a figure here. I think like for the top we need something like 5. Okay, looks okay. And in the bottom we'll also make a 5. This looks okay for now. Now what we need to do is to add the number of inputs we need on our contact form. So by clicking on the contact form edit section, we are going to be in position to add a number of other tabs or elements that we can use to edit our contact form. So we can simply just add an item. At the moment we only need the name form, the email, and then we need a checkbox. So we just click on the newly added element, and we come over here to type, and we have to look up for checkbox. Once we select checkbox, we can now move it over to where we want it to appear. So okay, move it up over the message element, and for us to easily identify it and where it is, we can just give it a label for now, checkbox. And then we will also need an element for the message is there for the website or blog URL. So we can come over here and then we'll add an element for the website or URL. So this is it here. And just for easing our job, we can add the label, your website stroke blog URL. So next what we can do is we are going to add a CAPTCHA, because right down here we have a CAPTCHA from Google. And how do we do that? We come back over here, and then we are going to add a new other element and come down here on type and look up for the element we are looking for, or we look up for the element we need. And in this case, we are looking for a reCAPTCHA element. And okay, so it's already here applied. And the very last one is basically a button. So here is the button already. What we now need to do is we are going to do a little bit of styling on the font faces and a little bit of the padding between elements. So what we do, we just come over to the style. We are in position to increase the column gaps just in case we have any number of columns here, but we don't have any columns in between, and the row gaps. Now these are the rows, so we can increase the row gaps a little bit, something like this. We can make it exactly 30, and then the label spacing. So the label spacing, we can give it something like a 10. This is the name that is reflecting on what is going on that box below. On the field, we can now fix the typography. I'm using a typeface called Montserrat. I'm using a font face of about 16. I forgot to fix the typeface for the label itself, and I can just fix it up here by still hitting in the digits, Montserrat, and it's over here. And this one I made it exactly 18. And the weight, I made it around 400. No, the weight was actually 600. And okay, this looks fine so far. And the other thing we need to do is now to work on our button. And the button, I made it to be still the same font face, Montserrat. And we increase a little bit on the font size to around 18 also. And so far that's it. And for the messages, we also did the same. This is the notification that you receive, something like this down here. Once the form is successful or it has failed, that is what you receive down here. So we can fix it here by enabling the font face and the font size. In this case, it's going to be also 16. So for now, we can now head back straight to our content, and we can give the size, we can assign the size of these rows. For the name, we need it to be only 50%, and for the email, we will make it 75%. Okay, and this is supposed to be a checkbox, not checkout actually. Sorry about that. So here we need now to insert figures. We need to insert what people will actually check in the checkboxes. In this case, we want to know how they found about us. So we want to know, like, we are going to add a question like, how did you know about us? So I can just copy this, bring it over this side, and I paste it. How did you know about us? And I can add options. Here we added options of social media, blog, forum, Google search. So we can do the same here. Social media, blog, forum, and Google search. So I have since I want them to be in line, so I just have to enable this, turn it on, and I have them to be in line. And for the message, I'm going to make it also 75%, the message box, so it will be 75%. And I'm going to make it to be 7 rows so that it doesn't look to be very small for the user. And for the website stroke blog URL, I'm going to make it to be 50%, something like that. And for the reCAPTCHA, that looks fine. And for the button, the submit button, we are going to make it to be only okay, we are going to make it to be 35. No, we are going to make it to be only 20%. Yeah, and we are going to add an icon for our submit button just to show them that, yeah, you can actually use this to submit. And the icon I use here is actually called location. So I just have to feed in the name here in the icon library, and I insert the icon, and there we go. So we can increase a bit on the button size. On the other hand, the actions after submit will this form will be sending to an email. And which email is that? This is the email it will be sending to, and this is the default message that comes with the email. Let me just show you this over here. You see, this is the subject, new message from that platform, so which is my blog. So you can customize this to what you want. And then the message field here, you can specify the fields where you want to get information. I mean, when someone sends the email, you want to be specific on which fields you want to collect information from. However, you can just leave this at default so that it collects all over the information that has been fed into the form. And then the email from, so this email, once it is sent, it will show you that it is coming from this kind of email address. So you should always also set up which email is the default sender to your email address. Or whenever someone sends, you have to know, if someone uses your website, which email address will be sending to your inbox, and then which email actual people can reply to. So again, here you have to select which email people should always reply to, and this is an email that will not give them errors whenever they reply to it once you have written to them. And then this is called the metadata. I always remove most of these things. For example, the credits, the IP location, the remote IP, the user agent, the page URL, the time, and all that stuff. This meta is what you see down here. The credits is by Elementor, remote IP is this, the URL, the server URL, the user agent, and all that stuff. So I don't need to receive any of this information. By removing them from here, then I don't get any of that feedback. And then the other thing is you can set whether to receive plain emails or HTML emails. And on the other hand, you can add additional options. And the other thing is setting up the custom messages. The custom messages are basically what feedback your user gets once they send in the message. Something like this. This is a custom message, so you can style it up, you can change how this message is displayed and what kind of feedback they are getting once they send in the form. We are going now to work on the styling of our background, and then later we'll come and finalize with the form input itself. So what I did here is I inserted a background, very nice background, and then I added an overlay color. And that overlay color is actually also a gradient. We are going to come to our section, edit settings, come to style, come over to the background, select an image for the background, come down here, select your image, insert it over there, boom, and you have it. And then we are now going to go to the overlay, and under overlay we are going to select the gradient. And now I come over to my color space, where I always generate my color patterns, and we are going to select this to be our first color in the gradient, and this other to be our second color in the gradient. And now I can work on the opacity. I made it before 95. And at 95, that's what I got. And now I can come back here and change my font color, which is the styling for the color. So what I'm going to do is just switch this to white, and boom, we have now our form text changing to the color we want. Now we are going to do now a little bit other tweaks. Just look here. When we are sending, this button is having this effect, and then it's also changing the color. So what we are going to do, we just come over here. You actually have to come to style, come to the button, and then on the normal color, the normal color is this color. So normal color is that. We leave the text color on default. This is the normal color. I actually made an error before because I think the green was supposed to be reversed, but we are going to look that into later. And then the hover color is actually supposed to be the green, so it is this. Then I copy over that, come over here, background color, and that is it. So once someone hovers over this, they get that. And then the animation is actually called hang. We can also work on the padding and distance between the word and the arrow itself, and we can do that from the content side. Come over to the button area and submit button, and we can here determine the space between the button and the form text and the button text, and we can decide that to be before or to be after. Now we are going to increase a little bit on the darkness of our background, so we'll just come over to the CSS effects and we will decrease on the brightness to around 75, something like this. But I also think I used a wrong color, not this. It's supposed to be this because it's giving me a wrong other color version. So I'm going to switch this green here. I'm going to switch this to another green, which is this. Yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. So now we need to enable which elements actually supposed to be required. So we just come over here, go to the form fields, and on the name it's supposed to be required, on the email it's supposed to be required, and how did you know about us? No, that's not supposed to be required. Message is supposed to be required, and submit button, no, this is automatically required. Then actions after submit. So what we need now to do is to go and style our required marks. So we go to style and come to mark color. So the mark color, we are going to give it to be white, something like this. Looks fine. The message box doesn't have a required mark. Come back here to the content message. It's supposed to be required. Now it has the required mark. We don't need to have a placeholder there, and boom, that looks so far so good. We need now to compare the two. So this is now the form. The button down here is supposed to be actually green before hover, so we can just come over here, go to the style, look up for our button, and before hover it's supposed to be green, so we just copy over this color, come to normal, place it here, grab this other, come to hover, delete this, and boom. So once someone hovers, that's what they have. Once you have your reCAPTCHA here set, so you have now to go to Elementor in the back end, settings, integrations, and you have to set your site keys here. These are the keys that are provided by Google to integrate the reCAPTCHA. So by clicking on this link, it will enable you to generate that will integrate with your Elementor website. It is free of charge. So, and that's how you can enable it, that when someone clicks over here, automatically it will enable them to submit their email. So what we just need to do now is to hit publish. Once you publish, then you are live. We can do now a demo test of our form. Typing in the name, I'll just say my name. Then here I click on the I'm not a robot, and I send through my message. So the form was sent successfully. So let's wait a minute to receive this email. Boom! And here the email comes through. It comes from Hamza. His email address is this. The message is how they got to know about us is through the Google search, and the message is thank you, and his website URL is this. So guys, that's how you can create a custom contact form using Elementor without touching a single line of code and in just a couple of steps. So thank you so much for watching, and in case you like this tutorial, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you don't miss out on new content when I push it out. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.